So for our runners here today, a loss wouldn't be crippling, but it would put a little more pressure on them as they move forward. And we are off. First chest is a heart container. Not a bad find this early. Just a little bit of extra safety.
Yeah, not bad find, but I think the runner would prefer something else, like some rupees or something.
Yeah, definitely want to be getting some money early, or another weapon progression item, something like that. We're about to see what the uncle has on him.
Well, it's hammer. Hammer is one of the best weapons in the game.
Absolutely, tempered sword slash damage. The hitbox is a little bit wonky, but it's a very good weapon in a pinch. And our runners pick up the lamp. That is another nice find early in the game.
Yep. They don't have to worry about dark rooms in this game. But I'm not sure if they really care about dark rooms. But more importantly, that's a fire source.
Yeah, very important if Desert Palace is one of our crystals. If they need to go into the basement of Tower of Hair, so always nice to have that fire source early on. All right, so we see Furaime on his side doing a little bit of extra farming here. He's going to be looking for a bomb drop, which will be important once they get back into the sewers.
Yeah, there are 3 chests there on blocked by a bombable wall, so you don't want to go to escape later or have the power up. You want the bomb drop here.
And they find the sword early. That's going to be a big load off our runners' minds there.
And that's two out of 3 of the Aghanim assets.
That is another consideration to keep in mind. Absolutely. So our runners will be looking for just around 6 minutes, as it's kind of the average benchmark you're looking for escape. With the hammer, it probably is going to go a little bit quicker. And it does depend on how much they decide to farm for bombs here, but 6 minutes is generally what you're going to be looking for to get out of Sanctuary.
Yep.
Though it looks like both our runners kind of giving up and farming the guards here. It looks like bombs not in those prize packs in this seed, so just going to motor through and hope that the ropes and rats in the sewers have what they're looking for. All right, so someone is our first runner into the sewers.
He will be facing a lot of ropes this screen. Let's see how many of them he kills.
Gives a quick test to one and then just immediately gets out of there. Furaime doing a little more farming, so he's a little bit behind someone, but so far neither runner having much luck.
Oh, Furaime got his bomb drop from the rats.
Yeah, so 4 bomb prize pack from the rats there. Is someone just going to get? Yeah, someone's not even hesitating, just leaving as quickly as possible.
4 bombs is enough for this chest and Kakariko, other than the racing game. So that's a really good find, especially since they are a little low on rupees as well.
Yeah, luckily for someone there, as we see from Furaime's side, not much to speak of there in those 3 chests.
And speaking of, he got his bomb found from the sanctuary.
Yep, so someone should be in fine shape once he gets into Kakariko and buys his bombs. So we'll get a tree pull check from someone here, and hey, look at there.
Bombs. And 4 of them as well.
So that means he's going to be able to get everything he could, everything he can possibly check in Kakariko here. You only need 3 bombs to check all the spots. So,
And we had a brief map check. I saw 2 crystals in Hera and Eastern, and one of them is red. I forgot which, and I didn't catch Desert.
we also had a lumberjack check from someone there, just 50 rubies. Doesn't mean that Aghanim 1 is off the table, but does kind of lessen the chances that we'll see it. Of course, with that early sword and lamp, I'm sure that's on our runners' minds.
Well, let's see what we find here in Kakariko. A total of at least a dozen chests.
Yep, someone will be the first in there. Didn't find much in the Lost Woods, 20 rupees and a piece of heart. And he's going to be heading in and grabbing all those Kakariko item locations. That bomb tree pull, very fortunate for him. It means he's going to be able to route Kakariko a little more efficiently here, rather than having to double back on himself after buying bombs.
Looks like we have arrows for another triple. Not that useful because they don't have bow.
And they find them. Someone finds the Master Sword in Blind's Hut. Oh boy. That means Aga 1 is open.
Well, they already have the hammer, so if they have Darko SS, Aghanim is dead.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot's going to depend on what else they find here in Kakariko. I'm sure, most runners will check all the spots they can in the early game, just to avoid that potential Aga 1 play if possible. But the longer we go on without finding either the Moon Pearl or gloves, the more and more that possibility is going to be creeping up.
We see we have silver arrows here in the Kakariko well.
Another nice early find. And the Book of Medora from the Bottle Merchant.
So there's a potential that goes to left for a desert play right after the dam.
Yep, that is on the table as well now. Could be boots locked, but that does mean our progression could be inside Desert Palace as well. So someone's going to be heading down here, check the library, check the race game, and then I would imagine he'd go South Shore, but we'll see what he decides to do after he has checked the.
Let's half magic on the library. Interesting to see if they'll come back for it after the boots.
Oh, the gloves at the race game.
And he almost saved and quit out of muscle memory and fails hold it and go to risk it just in time.
I think I think everybody does that. Really, you're so used to nothing being up there. When there is, you're ready to get out of there as quickly as possible. We see Furaime actually heading straight for it, not even doing a check. It's interesting. This is generally more of a play you would see in Key Sanity than you would in Standard, but it is going to pay off for him and catch him up just a tiny bit to someone.
I know there are runners who just almost always go for it if their bombs can't permit, because it's more efficient way you can save and quit right out of race game.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that comes down to a almost stylistic choice in the way some runners prefer to run the game. Another little slight divergence here. Furaime actually just completely skipping out on the dam is going to head straight to Mini Moldorm.
Looks
And
like nothing.
Yeah, Mini Moldorm ended up being a bust, as did the dam. Good point in chat there. Furaime can route in the dam with a desert check, if that's where he's intending on going next.
So looks like we're at Zora's domain, and Eastern and Desert left, right? And that's first part of Death Mountain, the ultimate stuff.
Yeah, they can get up. They can get 2 items up on Death Mountain with their current items set up. Still need either the mirror or the hook shot to be able to route in more checks up there. So probably won't be seeing either runners heading there until they find one of those 2 items. So we do indeed see Furaime checking the dam now. And yeah, we'll probably be heading over to Desert once he has completed this.
Someone back in Sanctuary, possibly check the bag of escape because he didn't have bombs.
Yep, just kind of getting that out of the way, making sure he didn't miss anything on his way out. And getting 2 bomb drops. Where was that earlier?
Randomizer at its best.
And you see Furaime heading down to Desert now into Agonist Cave.
And someone goes for the Eastern Sahasrara play.
Yeah, this is interesting. Someone's routing here is going to get him more guaranteed item locations. While Frams could pay out if he is able to complete Desert Palace, assuming that is not boots locked.
Hook shot and boom pearl. So let's actually put Eglin out of the equation now.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. That's our Dark World access. Someone he's gonna continue on here. He's already in the area, so may as well dip into Eastern and see if he finds anything else. But that is a huge find in the back of Sahasrar's hut. Not only gets you Dark World access, but also opens up a bunch of Death Mountain.
But if he's a little greedy, he might want to wait for a Titan Smith now that he has Dark World access.
Absolutely. There's a lot of locations that are now open to someone's, so putting off that Death Mountain play until you absolutely have to and can route it as efficiently as possible is definitely a smart choice, I would think.
Looks like we have big key on the torch this time, so Desert Palace boots locked.
Yeah, good information for Furaime to have, but definitely Desert ends up being a bust. And Furame's going to make the play up to Death Mountain. And we know he's not going to find what he's looking for here. Needs that Moon Pearl.
But let's save and quick point, so not really that much time lost for him.
No, not a terrible play. But we know he needs to get over to Eastern as quickly as possible. Unless he finds something like the bow up here, which you never know.
Yeah, totally could.
Just a blue boomerang for the trouble of bringing the old man to his cave. And he's going to take a quick peek up at Spectacle Rock.
He's also going straight for the Spectacle Rock Cave, not going to take a peek first.
And the shovel is the final item that someone has access to there. Spectral Rock Cave just has a big 20. So I imagine for him, at this point, kind of running out of options, going to probably head to Eastern here.
Yep, looks like it. Because someone, I think, is going up to Death Mountain as well, but he has more items to check.
Yeah, he can even complete Tower of Hera at this point. Just route the whole east side of Death Mountain, and with the hammer, get over to Hera and finish that dungeon off. So very efficient routing so far from someone.
Yep. Looks like Furaime is going to get his hook shot and moon pearl. Let's see where he goes from here.
Yeah, we'll see if he just kind of gets out of here as soon as he opens these chests, or if he decides to do what someone did and check Eastern Palace.
Looks like straight up to back to Death Mountain after their hook shot.
Yeah, really interesting. This and Furaime, that decision to skip out on Eastern Palace, it's gonna basically put him slightly ahead of someone at this point in time.
Yep.
And we get our first bottle in Paradox Cave. We'll add one more check back in Kakariko for our runners.
All the safeties here in Paradise Cave.
Yeah, hearts, blue mail, red goo, but no progression, sadly.
That's the other boomerang on Floating Island. We are going to Hera from Furaime's side.
Yep, and not only hair available, but also ether tablet. So we'll get a quick check of that as well.
That's the King of Samaria. So the early source is lampshading, and lamp is lampshading ether tablet instead of Aghanim.
Yeah, it's just very interesting seed so far. We don't know that the cane is required at this point. If Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are both Pendant dungeons, and if the GT Big Key is on the left side, then Red Cane is not strictly required. But it's good to have this now, so you don't have to worry about it later. But it has been a very interesting race so far. I mean, both our runners kind of took divergent paths, checking all those early spots. And the mirror is our first time in the Ice Rod.
Wow. Does that bump jump even work?
I'll trust Furaime on this one, but unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him there. Someone gets the more conventional bomb jump, and our runner's in sync right now.
So, yep, that bumper heat detection doesn't go that far north, so you can sneak right past between the hole and the bumper there.
Yeah, strangely, a trick I find easier to do with boots than just walking through, but Furaime managed it pretty easily.
Three quick hammers, pounce, and motor stamp. Notice someone is up for metal sword spins that do same damage but takes a fall.
Yeah, this is another one of the things I think comes down to runner preference. Some people like to use the hammer, some people like to use master sword spins if those are the only two weapons you have. Master sword spins, while they can be a little bit safer, if you're facing away from the pit and hold that direction, while you hold your sword out. Moldarm can't knock you down, but you do have the potential of just poking the tail, which only gives you 1 damage versus the 2 for the spin.
And Mondor in fast phase is not easy.
He's not very much fun when he's going normal speed, so going double speed is unpleasant. We see Furaime here going to Spiral Cave, just find some bombs, and we'll save and quit out.
While not in logic quite yet, they have the option to boot for a spike cave if they want to leave a red goo in their possession. They might have enough spell health for that.
Yeah, they probably could. I think at this point, and also with the hook shot would help them get around that. I think at this point, though, since they still don't have those mitts and will probably need to be coming back later for Dark World Death Mountain, they'll likely route it in then once they have either the Cape or Cane of Burna, or some more health.
Looks like we have a Dark World match check. All the pendants are on the west side, Skullwoods being the green, and our last 5-6 crystal looks like at Swamp.
Yeah, definitely a very interesting setup there for our Pendant dungeons today. Normally you would route around over to Village of Outcasts and dip into Skullwoods and Thieves Town. With both of those being Pendant dungeons, interesting to see how much our runners decide to hit those areas. Well, Hype Cave getting us the Fire Rod. Very required item for this seed. Also powder, as Chad is pointing out, so another little fetch quest check.
Looks like someone's going to use the Thieves Town portal, so they will be hit with the news that Skullwoods and Thieves Town are both pendants, and let's see where he goes from that.
It's that 20 rupees on Bombo's tablet. Yeah, now someone getting his map check and seeing that all those pendant dungeons are in the area he's at now. You wonder what he's thinking about, how he wants to route this. Looks like he's going to hit up Skullwoods first.
The first part is pretty free once you have Dark World access, especially with King of Samaria. So it's pretty good routing here. Let's see what he find, how many items of Skullwoods he can find in the first part.
Yeah, Skullwoods does only have 2 unique items. Otherwise, just a bunch of keys, compass, and the map. And because he did not route in Hype Cave first, he's not going to be able to get into the back end of Skullwoods.
Looks like Furaime is doing the South Dark World sweep. Doesn't have the shot on Eastern, so he cannot check that yet.
Yeah, and we'll see what he decides to do after Dig Game here.
Luckily save and quit because there's not much he can do else. Going up to Village Outcast is mitts locked.
It is mitts locked. He could get back into Kakariko with the mirror if he wanted to, but he would then, of course, be forced to head up to the Lost Woods portal if he wanted to get back to the Dark World. So very well could save and choose to save and quit from this position.
I mean, if you save because he has to use the Lost Wood portal as well, so it's conceivable to see him mirror here.
Yeah, and I think, getting that powder where he got it is probably leading him to this decision a little bit more. We'll be able to check Magic Bat in addition to Sick Kid, so getting all these one-off checks out of the way as soon as he can.
Looks like someone just finished his ghost check. I did not see what he found there.
I didn't see it, but it doesn't look like he found much, unfortunately. It's the big 20 off a magic bat.
And a heart piece on Bumper Cave. I think we're seeing graveyard ledge from someone now.
No choosing.
Yeah,
Nice.
maybe not.
Just just heading back into Village of Outcasts. Gonna check these item locations here. See if he decides to dip into Thieves Town as well, and if so, how far he decides to go in there. C-shaped house and chest game. Not much, just some green goo.
Looks like he's going to at least check the first floor of Thieves Town. Having mirror make the flashback is going to be pretty fast.
Yeah, one interesting thing to keep in mind with this seed. Pedestal seeds can be pretty rare, but right now, with the items we know are currently available, both Thieves Town and Skull Woods are completable. And the only things missing that our runners would need to be able to complete Misery Mire, the other pendant, is the flute and whatever medallion they've got. So,
and another glove. And another glove.
Yeah. So, something to keep in the back of your mind, maybe. It's a little bit early still, but I know how much chat loves pedestal seeds.
Yep, Chad loves them. Runners hate them, Chad loves them. Nothing notable in the front for a Siege Town. Looks like he's going deeper.
Yep, still a few items left here in Thieves Town, and as long as you're here, you might as well kind of finish it off. Make sure you're not missing anything. Grab that pendant just in case.
Looks like Furaime is following into Thieves Town as well. He can finish skulls right now, so maybe we'll see he do that later.
I would imagine so, since it is completable for him. And if there's an item there, someone who knows, he's got to still ride around to Hype Cave to get that fire rod, but who knows how long it takes him to get back over there and complete that dungeon.
Yeah, and that's green pendant as well. So those goals is definitely a little more valuable than Thieves Town, I'd say. It's 3 items versus 4, but you can mirror for a pedestal check when he's there. But I think both have their merit.
It looks like Furaime is going to actually completely skip out on the back end of Thieves Town. Decides there's no sense in doing it since it's a pendant.
Yeah, because he has a better pendant to do as in goggles, I believe. Because I don't think any other dungeons are open, so might as well do a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, our runner's still lacking some very key items to be able to do a lot of the other dungeons at this point. Desert Palace has boots locked. Eastern Palace and Pod both are going to need the bow.
Someone didn't know this is boots luck yet. He has not been there, so maybe we'll see that from Ping later.
Yeah, he might give that a check at some point. Just kind of looking for the progression, but and of course still need the flippers for Swamp Palace. So there's a lot still left to find.
We have blind fight. It's easier when you bring the maiden first. And it can be scripted if you do exactly the same. But he's off screen now. But with all the health he gets, I don't think he has a problem.
Yeah, no problems there for someone. Doesn't quite get the scripted fight, but takes him down all the same. Gets his red pendant.
Well, Furaime coming for the last part of Skullwoods, going to check the walk around chest first. He has mirrors, so he doesn't have to walk back.
And the mitts are locked behind the fire rod in Skull Woods.
Wow, that routing just paid off defiance from Furaime.
Yeah, and this is kind of the interesting thing about routing in the randomizer. Furaime started from Link's house, went to Hype Cave, and got that fire rod, while someone chose to do a defensible play, go to Village of Outcasts first. But just kind of the way it ended up working out, Furaime able to route all this in pretty efficiently, get his mitts, and that's going to open up some more of the game for him. Dark World Death Mountain, I think, in particular.
Four hammers will take down Masura, given if we can hit them. And don't hit them, hit it into spikes.
Yeah, Mothula is just such a mess of a boss fight.
It's falling everywhere, and spikes are also flying everywhere. But he get it down.
Yeah, there's that second item for Skull Woods, the red mail. So, very well done by Furaime. And we'll see if he decides to hop into the Lost Woods and get a pedestal check done.
I think we're going to see it. You're here, there's no reason not to. It's relatively quick.
Rupee Horde, so 300 rupees on the pedestal.
Meanwhile, someone takes a thick spot Furaime cannot gets a bucknet for his trouble.
So someone is going to be getting his fire rod here very soon. And you wonder how quickly he's going to make that decision to head back to Skull Woods, because it's just always such a rough feeling to have been in a place, not have the item you need to complete it, and then find it only minutes later.
A point directing him to go with that both items there are actually fire rod blocked, so it's still a swivel even if you check the front half. We're seeing Graveyard Ledge from Furaime and out of the way location that a lot of people dislike.
Yeah, I know a lot of people wait until they have boots to be able to do Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb at the same time as this. because it is a little bit out of the way. For Furaime, though, he was already in the area, had just finished Skull Woods, so it makes sense to check this as soon as he can.
Yep, someone's going to desert and Gina getting the new sled with her boots locked.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed by what he finds here, unfortunately.
Do you consider getting a boot lock seed a good blessing or curse?
Well, there's pros and cons to it, of course. On the one hand, you're going to get boots, so they're somewhere. You're going to find them. But it very often leads to double dip dungeons, kind of like we're going to be seeing for both our runners here, which you want to avoid as much as you can.
Because Furaime is doing the blacksmith stuff. Without boots, he cannot hammer that, so we are going to peg the pegs down one by one.
Yeah, just obviously slower, but you don't want to orphan that. You have it available to you, and just kind of the way he's been routing, he's been able to kind of just sweep across the map here, getting the items he needs at just the right time. So Seed has definitely worked out in favor of Furaime here. It gets the Ether Medallion.
Potentially useful, but hope it's not for Meyer.
Yeah, obviously no way to tell what Meyer is at this point. I expect to see Furaime head up to Dark Death Mountain sooner rather than later, and we'll get a look at Turtle Rock when he does that.
Oops, gotta throw too close to a door here. Got mirror back before taking the prize from blacksmith. Save and quit after grabbing the launch block because he has to do all the things on the way, potential on the way there, so he's just going to walk it from his house.
Yeah, definitely one of the nice things about having already completed all that South Dark World, all those checks. So just saves and quits and head straight over.
Someone is doing a pyramid check, looks like it, and potentially goes to Quakefish.
And purple chest is Bombos. So in quick succession for Furaime, finds 2 of the medallions.
And here comes the Darkness Mountain Plate. So if someone got enough rupees, there's a potential loose spot. Let's start from let's split on one snake out of gloves. That's King Sora.
Yeah, so he'll be hoping to find a little bit of extra cash here as he does these checks. But nothing on Pyramid, just a bomb upgrade. And someone, I think, actually is going to make the pod play.
Let's just hope that Furaime is not going to find a ball on his checks here then.
Yeah, that would be about the worst possible outcome for someone. And what is Turtle Rock today? It is Ether. So hammer pegs required.
And he can clear this dungeon if he wants right now. I mean, you're here. I'd suspect that he might do it. Not everybody is fond of doing Turtle Rock, but he can do it.
Yeah, definitely. He could complete it now if he wanted to, Elects to open the door and do a couple of other checks first.
Smoky will not bow locked this part.
Yep, and Furaime finds the Tempered Sword in Super Bunny Cave. I imagine that's going to send him right to Turtle Rock after he does Hookshot Cave.
Taking the right photo, we are going to see the potion glitch in action here. So as you walk through the next hallway and drink a potion, you can misalign the camera and walk the mimic off the screen.
Yeah, this is a relatively newly discovered glitch. Having some trouble with the red mimic there, but gets it all the same.
So if you walk all the mimics on the screen, the game considers them dead, and the door opens and opens the Bolak part for you.
Yeah, so we know that he's not going to be finding Bowen here, unfortunately. But we'll see if he finds something else, any other kind of progression. Oh my goodness. Furaime finds the bow in the first chest in Turtle Rock.
Of course it's in Turtle Rock. Everything you could possibly want is in Turtle Rock. So
That is... Sorry, go ahead.
So looks like we're the footwear's away from goal mode.
Yeah, boots and flippers are the two items at this point that our runners need. Or Furaime needs specifically. But that is bad news for someone. That means he's not going to be able to get his bow until he finishes, until he goes back and finishes off Skull Woods.
He's going to clear out part of all the items out in the helmet store here. So he already found one item that is mushroom. So let's see what that brings.
Not much in pot so far, but we'll get a few more item checks here. Hey, and there's our final sword upgrade.
Best case scenario is someone does not find. Do you think someone is better off finding boots and flip the chair or not?
It's a tough call because everything that someone is finding right now is behind boots, which we know is behind Turtle Rock, is behind Skull Woods. And that Skull Woods play is going to be, it's going to really be dogging him here until he completes it.
A lot of not something you want yet. Here in pot.
Yeah, just cape and mushroom. Really the only two item finds there in pod. They don't really do much for someone at this point.
He could roll them both in pretty easily though. His can mirror to Witch's Hut and then go straight to Catfish and see if we can go to King Zora from there.
Yeah, could be nice for him if he does find boots. But unfortunately, the more stuff he finds, the longer it's going to be until he does that Skullwoods play.
Well, he should know everything he got there is out of logic, so he might want to get back in logic before pushing. And let's flute from Mimic Cave.
Yeah, flute not required for this seed, but very handy item.
I don't know. I don't want to see food right now in Unlock's Mire.
Oh my goodness, and there's flippers. So Turtle Rock having incredible value for Furaime here. Yeah.
Looks like every just going Furaime's way here after the early high pick play.
Yeah, it honestly it's come down to that routing decision. Going to Hype Cave first, and everything Furaime has done has worked out.
So someone might be running out of options here. Let's see where he goes next.
Well, hopefully for his sake, he will. He just got that cape. He's already checked bumper ledge though, so he knows that's nothing. Yeah, I mean, if he's heading this direction, I have to imagine Skullwoods is the play.
Now that was a brilliant part on Furaime's laser bridge check. He forgot the first check and chest, and when the laser knocked him down, he just directly walks to the first check using the invincibility frames.
Yeah, very nicely done. With this little health and no magic, no boots, that laser bridge check becomes pretty harrowing quickly.
If I were him, I was not that good of a player. I would use safety assets and ran my head into those lasers.
That's I can only speak for myself. I don't intentionally do that, but that is what happens the majority of the time. So. And that tempered find in Super Bunny Cave, paying off handsomely for Remy here, makes this fight so much easier.
Yep, don't need too many to hammer for the same damage. He can just slash, 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 and slash, slash. Looks like someone is finally getting his mitts.
Yeah, forgot for a second he didn't have them. Tried to go up the shorter route to this portal. I've had to make the loop around. But yeah, if he goes to Skullwoods now and finishes that, he will be getting his mitts, which will open up the seed for him like it's done for Furaime here.
So where would Furaime go next? He's going to activate his flute. He never touched pot Eastern, so the combo might be a value play for him. He has a lot of choices right now, but only one items left to find.
Yeah, I mean at this point, he can finish off pretty much all the required dungeons except for Desert. Everything's open to him. I imagine we'll see him checking Eastern and Pod before he goes to Ice Palace and Swamp. just so if he does find those boots in one of those two locations, he can go mode those two longer dungeons.
But with Soulboss Eastern and Pod on someone's side, only things left there is Hammerstone and Almost. Looks like we're getting Mire check first.
Yeah, this should be pretty quick. We'll check the Mire Shed. We'll check Checkerboard Cave. And won't even have the option of going into Misery Mire as it is the Quake Medallion.
That's good news for him. Don't need to walk into that long pendant dungeon right now.
It's kind of nice when that option just kind of gets taken off the table for you.
Looks like nothing in my area.
One other potential area to check. Neither of our runners has checked anything in Lake Hylia or in Zora's Domain, so would be one option for Furaime if you wanted to check some more overworld.
Looks like it's a pyramid, catfish, and mirrors to the whole Zora domain check from Furaime.
Someone gets his pedestal check there. And we'll head straight for Dark Death Mountain.
Hobo check gets his walking cane.
I guess he doesn't have much use for it at this point, living under a bridge, but hands it off to Furaime there.
Looks like the pot plate just routing Hobo in the way. So instead of catfish.
Yep, and we will also get a green pendant check here. Someone getting his final sword upgrade there to gold. And yeah, imagine we're going to be seeing him doing Turtle Rock as soon as he gets up there.
Well, he cannot open it. He did not get the Ether medallion from the pet cave.
Oh boy, you're right. He has not done all that.
Man, just the sequencing making all the difference this seed.
Yeah, it sure has. And I mean, we were talking about once Furaime found those mitts, we're talking about him heading to Dark World Death Mountain. But electing to check those overworld spots got him that ether tablet. And allowed him access to Turtle Rock, so...
I mean, both are very well played. Just they take it a different order, and that makes tons of difference.
Yeah, we see it time and time again with these randomizer seeds. Spike Cave, just a green rupee for someone. And we'll see what he likes to do next. Hopefully, for his sake, he's heading over to Kakariko. Hopefully, he's going to be checking those South Dark World locations.
He wants to be doing blacksmith right now, so he can get everything he needs on the way there. Doing that.
Yeah, this play right here gives him the highest density of checks, so definitely the smart call, and it will get him his ether medallion.
Furaime finally gets his shovel, the only item he doesn't have that someone has for a while.
Yep, we know that will lead to the swag net. We can only hope to see some awesome swag net strategies this run, but
So let's say you're someone, how panicked would you be when you see the ether here or the mids in Skullwoods?
I would I'd definitely probably be a little bit tilted. This is the second time that he has found an item required to open a location only minutes after being in that location. So that can definitely be a little bit frustrating when you realize, the routing decisions I made didn't end up paying off.
Well, while Purple Chase has Bumbles, we know that's not needed this season, so if he just goes straight back, he's going to be fine. And yes, it looks like he's going straight back.
Yeah, this will catch him up just a little bit to Furaime, but he's going to have to make up some serious ground here.
Taking all the hints from the seat right now. Hurry to Turtle Rock. Everything you want is there.
All right, so while we have a little bit of a lull here, while our runners are kind of tracing over each other's steps, I'd like to remind everybody, these runners are fantastic. They're doing a great job for us here. Give those guys a follow. And these two guys in particular are fantastic runners. So if you like what you're seeing here, have a look at those two guys' channels. Give them a follow.
And don't forget, if you want to watch more randomizer races, give the Speed Gaming Network a follow. That's 1 through 6. Yes, we are up to 6 now, and ALTTP randomizers 1 through 4 a follow. Those are the channels the randomizer race will be in. In addition, Speed Gaming Network will be hosting a wild array of other tournaments. So those are really exciting to watch as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we 256 races each of these weeks during the Switch stage. I think last week we ended up restreaming about half of those. So plenty of randomizer to go around.
Meanwhile, someone just got his ball. I bet he's thinking, of course it's here.
Yeah, I think he probably had an inkling that was going to be the case from the moment he found that ether tablet, which is why he just he got out of there as quickly as he could. Meanwhile, on Furaime's side, I'm going to be really interested to see what he decides to do. Assuming he doesn't find boots here in on Helmasaur King.
Yeah, that's the big decision next. I'd consider Swamp because that opens up the next 5-6. That's the next other 5-6 crystals, so it unlocks more than it looks. And it's a 6-item dungeon in the first place.
Yeah, definitely a lot of item density there. And if he does get lucky and finds boots in that early part of Swamp or in the back, he can skip the left side and just go mode everything else. So definitely wouldn't be a bad play. Still some overworld left to check, as I mentioned. Zora's domain hasn't even been touched at this point.
Yeah, imagine he do the Zora's domain first, especially now that he also has the mushroom. So he can walk there, check witch, and check catfish, then mirror back to Zora's domain and check everything because he has flippers.
Yeah, so he can continue to route things in very efficiently. And if he finds the boots, go moding Swamp Palace and Ice Palace is just, it's everything you ever want in the seed. But yeah, so far the seed has been very generous. It's given our runners everything they could possibly want. Mitts being in Swamp maybe a little bit trolly there, but otherwise just kind of been like leading them along, giving the items they need right as they need it.
Ram is showing off, hitting the statue on the side.
Yep. Holding onto the wall, doing it from a neutral stance allows you to move those guys around. So, very cool trick you can do in that cave. Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking about Furaime and the end pod. Yes, hitting the statue from the side there.
Yeah, walking the mimics. There are a few tricks walking the mimics as well. You can use the sword slash that stops yourself from moving, but not the mimics. And you can hold on to a wheel to do the same. Those tricks really helps the mimics room.
Yeah, absolutely, and you'll see it also when our runners head up to Ganon's tower. So Furaime getting the kill onto Helmasaur King. And Fairy in a bottle. So that's the final bottle, I believe.
Yep, and every bottle is some goods in it. 2 fairies, 1 red goo, and 1 green goo.
Yeah, given our runner skill level, I doubt they'll need it, seriously need it, but definitely always nice to have those safeties.
Looks like he decided not to walk. Instead, he's going to flute to witches for gold catfish and pyramid straight to witch and Zora's domain.
Just a piece of heart in exchange for the mushroom that time. Looks like he is also just going to get this other fetch quest out of the way and grab his bug net.
Go to 8. I think we're going to see Draws Domain first. Using that portal.
Yeah, definitely want to do these quick checks. Once again, if you find those boots now, it's going to make your life so much easier heading into those final few dungeons. And someone gets the nice kill onto Trinex there. And that means someone will be now beginning his search for the boots.
And Paladin Eastern is not going to be as valuable for him because he already done most of those two as well. So let's see where he goes. He might actually be finding a boost first. Who knows?
Yeah, that is probably going to lead him to do a little bit more overall checking than Furaime did. Just because he knows the boots are likely not in either of those two dungeons.
But he might be drawn to Eastern as that's a 5-6 crystal. So if you are there, you might do pot as well. So let's see where he goes after he actually plays his flute. Likely with Myanmar first as well, but he'll get the news that he cannot go there yet.
All right, well, Furaime didn't find anything in Zora's domain, unfortunately. And judging by the way he's heading, I think he's going to just dip in a swamp. Electing to do that before Pyramid Fairy. Or he needs to do that before Pyramid Fairy, excuse me.
And check the pyramid as while he's checking Pyramid Fairy. That sounds efficient but risky routing because Pyramid is open way early.
Yeah, I mean, if you're framing right now, what you're hoping for is boots are here, I can just go mode. You wonder, he's probably not going to check left side first time. I will be interesting to see if he decides to skip left side entirely once he's done with the dungeon. Assuming he hasn't found boots by that point.
He's leaving a bomb behind every chest now. Looks like it.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking those chests. We'll likely check the one in the south room below the big key chest.
Yeah. I personally use the hookshot key to follow the left side first, but not going through there because it's more efficient. Doing the left side flooding with less small key, but you have to fear you should not be flooding that key.
Right, exactly. So we'll see what Framing elects to do.
Someone finish off Eastern and Pot right now. They're both crystals, so a good place to be if you are not sure where you're going next.
Yeah, obviously he knows he needs to complete these 2 dungeons, get them out of the way quickly, get one of those 5-6 crystals. He still doesn't know what's on Helmsword King or Armos Knights, but he's probably hoping that boots are on one of those 2. Furaime heading straight for the back end of Swamp. Not really surprising given he's 1 item away from go mode. And let's see if we have anybody new here who's unfamiliar with some of the terms we're using. When we use the term go mode, what we're referring to is it's a state that the runners will enter once they have all the items they need that are required to complete these 7 crystal dungeons and get up to Ganon's tower and complete it. So all the items you need to complete the game. And the significance of go mode, I don't think can be understated. The difference between being in go mode for dungeons like Swamp Palace and Ice Palace is pretty substantial.
Simultaneous boss fight here, August and Helmsword. Both hit their silver arrows at the same time.
So, on Furaime's side, getting those bombs there means that there's only 1 item left in Swamp. Still missing the big key and the map, I want to say, from his menu check just a moment ago. And given that, he is actually just going to completely skip out on the left side of Swamp Palace.
Let's see what that play will turn out.
So if you were hoping for someone to have an opportunity to get back into this race, the hope at this point for someone would be that boots are still in Swamp Palace, that final item in there.
Mm-hmm. And in Featuring Night, going back to Swamp is not as much as a hassle because the first room I think is second room stays flooded even after you leave, so it's not taking as much time even if Furaime leaves Swamp like this, but it will take time to get back there.
Definitely, and the thing about leaving Left Side Swamp Palace is once you've left it, the last thing you want to do is to be going back in there.
Nope, it's not here. So I think his next stop will be Ice Palace.
Yeah, he is quickly running out of options. Really, at this point, he's checked most of his overworld. He still has to check Catfish. He did not do the back end of Thieves Town, so I would imagine he's going to do Ice Palace first, that being a Crystal Dungeon. He can still go back, check Thieves Town. Someone finishes up his Eastern double dip there. And we'll flute away over to 8. Is he going to do Lake Hylia and Zora's Domain, or is he going straight to Ice Palace?
I think he's going to Hovel first. Then we'll see if he go to Zora's Domain or Ice Palace. Taking the portal in reverse to Ice Palace, I never thought of that.
Yeah, definitely one way to get back over to this area. So we'll see if boots are in Ice Palace.
Straight to Ice Palace, someone. So he's going to have a quicker swamp if Boots is in here.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
I was going to say, but of course we know that would be probably the worst case scenario for him. Furaime already a step ahead of him in the dungeon.
It's a better scenario than he goes to full clear swamp first. If the boots are not there.
Yeah, I would agree. That would be the death knell. Really, though, at this point, someone's only real hope is that left side swamp had those boots. And worst case scenario for Furaime, and I'll give credit to chat here for pointing this out. Finding Quake here would probably be pretty nasty.
So yeah, you can use the hook shot to clip into the staircase there. Oh, here's the boots. At 1 hour 22 minutes, Furaime is in go mode.
Yeah, that's a big find for him. Especially where he found it means he's going to go straight to Cold Stare. This will be super fast.
Yeah, the unintended. He didn't come to Ice Palace expecting to go mode it, but he did.
Now, the interesting thing is this is going to someone in go mode as well, but that dungeon lead that Furaime had is just going to be too much.
Quick slash takes the Cold Stare while they're still in a clump. Gets the mirror shield and his 6th crystal.
Ooh, someone realizing he does not have enough magic. He never got Bombos. But he does have a green potion, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, he had a green potion. He drank his red potion trying to do the bottle glitch. So he still have the green potion here.
I think he might have forgotten he had it for a second there too. Given that he opened that door.
Furaime didn't make the mistake of forgetting actually getting the big key.
Yep, keeping a cool head once you hit go mode, it can be really easy to tunnel vision once you hit that mark.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of races where runners know they're going desert with the boots and forgot to get a quick key and only get the bad news right before land molars. So we are closing on lemons here. So the 7th crystal balls, should we start the same?
Yeah, and with this set up front, we'll be able to easily dispatch land molars. Gold sword slash. Sorry.
And after that, we're going to Gans Tower. So here's the traditional, as always, the Gans Tower BK guest game. I'm going to start it right now.
Get your guesses in. We're heading up to Gan's Tower. The big key can be in any one of 22 locations in Gan's Tower. Type in the chat there, how many checks do you think it'll be before we find that big key? If you are sub to any of the speed gaming channels or have cheered 250 total bits, you'll be able to join the leaderboard if you guess it right. What's your guess for our big key count here?
Well, today I'm feeling 4.
Feeling generous? I'll go ahead and say 11. Stick with that. I've been going with that most of the tournament.
Oops. Dropping down with the spin speed twice. Trying to go to east side. With spin speed, you don't have many buffer room on the ledge here.
Furaime will be making use of the Turtle Rock portal here. And should be getting into Ganon's Tower right around the 1 hour 29 minute mark.
Yep. It seems to be known that using that portal is a little faster, assuming no dead rocks at least.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the exact time difference between taking that one or using the one at the bottom of East Death Mountain, but I assume it's minimal enough that, you know, whatever is more comfortable for you is what you should go with.
So to answer chat, the time difference is from the sequencing of the chat they have available. They have both Goldwoods and Hype available. Someone did Goldwoods first, Furaime did Hype first, getting the fire rod, and Mist was fire rod blocked. And then again back after the Mist, there's the blacksmith sequence and the Dark Death Mountains. Someone chose Dark Death Mountains, seeing Turtle Rock needs Ether, and then the Pet Cave has the Ether. So those are the time difference come from.
Yeah, just kind of came down to the sequencing. Furaime's choices ended up working out for him, while someone's lost him some time, unfortunately. So that is 7 item locations down. And here's number 8.
Well, that's quick. At least we know we're not going to see a big key in Mystery Mire. That's not what we're playing here.
Yeah, fortunately for our runners, this is not Key Sandy. So that is not a possibility. Chest number 9 is 300 rupees.
Nothing yet. We are going to Ice Armors.
Yeah, we'll see if Bob's chest has anything for us. Furaime leaving a trail of explosives through Ganon's tower.
I mean, if he can get destroy this floor, he will climb one. He will need to climb one less floor going up. That's how this works, right?
On the other side, someone gets his 7th crystal, and we'll see him joining Furaime in Ganon's tower. I wonder if someone, if he feels behind, maybe he just decides to go right side. We'll almost certainly still be behind Furaime here, but it could close the gap slightly.
Looks like it is on right hand side this time. So, do we have a small key on the first 2 for that gamble?
I do believe that one of those 2 chests was a small key, yes.
Trying to swag that switch. Missed it a little too high.
And he gets the cane dash strat there off. Very nicely done.
That's a number 20, I believe.
I believe you are correct. Alright, now the big question, where's someone gonna head? It's gonna get these 2 chests down here first. Oh, never mind. I was mistaken on those keys. So he is gonna have to go left side first. Congratulations to Pale in comparison to. We're getting the closest guess with 17.
Well, looks like chat shows there's someone. Chat says there's someone actually gets 20, but unfortunately does not get on the leaderboard. So, honorably winner for him.
If I don't know if Eladrin is subscribed to the Speed Game channels or is cheered 250 bits. That is required to get on the leaderboard.
Yeah, I know that, but it's also fun to see if someone actually gets it right, and Chad knows that we didn't really have a lot of guests this time.
Yeah, definitely a good guess there. So congratulations on a good guess.
So while we're chatting nonsense, Furaime is blazing through the gauntlet, and he already got a Lemons 2 down.
Yeah, this has been a very nice run through the gauntlet so far for Furaime. Yeah, just a little bit unfortunate. I don't know if someone was planning on going right side if he found small key, but not finding in those first two chests, definitely making the correct call to go left side.
Yep. I mean, you can do Dark Magician route if you want to guarantee you a key on the right hand side, but surprisingly, not a lot of runners use that route. You go left to the Salvos room and mirror out after the 4 chest, then go full right hand side.
Yeah, I want to say I saw another runner doing that route. Another one of the races I caught, but someone just electing to go the normal left side route. And Furaime makes quick work of Moldorm 2, and we'll be seeing Agate 2 and Ganon here from him in just a few minutes.
With his current equipment, we might be able to see a sub 140 from him.
It's definitely on the table. Gets a pretty nasty pattern there from Aga, but still gets one.
Not the worst, not the best AK fight, but it got through.
Yeah, that was some. Those patterns there from Aghanim were pretty gross. So, well done to get through it as quickly as he did.
Yep. I'm not sure what the Ganon code is referring to.
Not sure if it's a specific reference, but kind of a funny statement regardless.
Yep. And with Ghost Door, six quick slash, phase 1 and phase 2, and we're already teleporting everywhere.
Yeah, Furaime showing off those pretty awesome dash strats on Ganon there. Ah, Spaceballs reference. Thank you, chat.
Quick 1-1 here. If you switch Silver Arrow knocks Ganon to the pit, he will teleport away, and Ganon is already down.
GG's to Furaime. A spectacular run there through the game. Made all the right calls, executed very nicely. And he is going to go ahead and finish his seed with an unofficial time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Now, I'm not sure if he does interviews. I'm totally blanks on this one. I remember there's a few that doesn't, and I have a distinct memory that he's one of those. But I'm going to ask him anyways.
Yeah, we'll see if he's interested. If not, no worries. In the meantime, we'll watch someone as he heads through the gauntlet and his Landmo 2 fight. And I just want to definitely give a shout out to someone325 here. Not going to win this race, unfortunately, but definitely impressive how close he ended up making this. Given the way his routing ended up burning him a little bit, definitely put on a nice performance, and is going to finish with a pretty close time, pretty similar time to Furaime here. Gets the kill onto Moldorm 2, and we'll hook shot over.
Looks like we're not getting an interview with Furaime today.
Looks like he'll be answering questions in chat, though.
Yep, so he's here. Alright, so someone dropping in on their Ganon fight here.
Gets their phase 2 quickly.
Getting the same teleport. The same for 2 silver arrows as well.
Ooh, dodges the fire bats and gets his final silver arrow shot onto Ganon. GG's to someone325. And he'll finish with an unofficial time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 10 seconds.
And looks like he's in the server. Let's bring him in. Hi, GG, someone.
Hey,
So, what's your overall thought on this seed?
it could have gotten better. I don't know. It's a weird scene because you get Mirror and Dust Mountain, and then you have to go all the way around. Only you can fire rod in Hype Cave and then go back to Skull Woods.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, the major difference this race ultimately came down to just one minor routing decision where Furaime actually opted to go to Hype Cave before heading into Village of Outcasts and Skull Woods. And
Yeah,
ended up
that'd do it.
getting that fire rod early, so a little bit of tough luck there. I did want to ask you about, were you considering when you're going into Ganon's Tower, were you considering going right side early?
Well, I didn't get a key, so no.
Okay. I was just curious if, maybe you felt behind and were going to try to do that. Obviously, with that key not being there, not really an option.
Yeah, usually if I find a key there, I go right side.
Yeah, that would have made it a little bit closer, but I think by that point, Furaime was already up into the gauntlet, so...
Yeah.
But definitely impressive run. I mean, given the Furaime's decisions ended up paying off pretty well for him, and you had a couple there. I think specifically, Ether Medallion and Fire Rod kind of burned you a little bit. Definitely impressive performance to finish so closely to Furaime there. So, well played
Yeah.
on that front. All right. Well, any other thoughts on the seed just in general? It seemed to be pretty open early, but kind of led you by the hand there through the middle portions.
Yeah. Basically, funneled into Turtle Rock at one point just to get the bow and flippers and all that. So if I found Tidesmith and Ether earlier, that would have helped.
Yeah, this seed is, I think, to make pretty much the same play other than Swamp. After, I think after Turtle, the seed screaming you to go to Turtle Rock, and you guys both did at the first opportunity you have after you got the requirements, and the same play to Eastern and Pod, and then he did Swamp first and you do Ice first. So not really that much of difference there.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, you guys both entered go mode at pretty much the same time. The big difference, obviously, being that Furaime had already finished Swamp Palace by that point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you to both of our runners, someone325 and Furaime, putting on a great race for us here today. Thank you to our tracker, Dragon Strike 1988. And also thank you to my commentating partner, Glassdag. It was a lot of fun commentating this with you.
Why, thank you, and you too. And looking at the schedule, at 8 o'clock, which is there's going to be a race on Haha Self versus Slim Kirby at ALTTP Randomizer 2. And so tune in for that if you want to watch more races.
Yep. Also, I believe on this channel, we're gonna have there's gonna be a race at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, Takaze versus Sidariel. And then an hour after that on ALTTP Randomizer, S-Diesel versus Murnet. So, as usual, tons of Randomizer. If you enjoyed this, give those races a look. And we're going to have so much more for you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and give those channels a follow too if you don't want to miss that on your notification. Or you can be like me, just follow a link to a past in the game. You can watch all the ways from there.
Absolutely. Leseg, any final thoughts?
It's been real fun commentating with you too. So let's wrap it up here and have a good night on the randomizers.
Absolutely. Thank you to all the viewers, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.